Yo, what's up, everyone? I'm excited for this. How's everyone doing? Good. So today, we are doing a shorter stream. I'll probably only go for a half an hour because I'm reacting to a video essay from my good friend Palpamemes. Today we are reacting. Today we are reacting to. Do you even see the name? Rey Skywalker: A Perfect End to the Star Wars Saga. Should be very interesting, and I'm looking forward to it. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of the character of Rey. I still have to get used to looking at the camera and not like StreamYards, right? You know, I have to look at the camera. So yeah, looking forward to it. It's from my good friend Palpamemes. He's been messaging me on Twitter about how much work he's been putting into this. So I'm looking forward to watching it. I have it pulled up. I'll give you guys a hot sec, see if I get more people to join, but I'll probably start in like 3 minutes. We'll go to the chat though. Let's go. Thank you, Austin Welch, for tuning in. Very cool, Goldman. It is. I'm excited. This is the way. This is the Rey. Hey, I heard that's a pretty cool video. I heard it's not as cool as my Mary Sue video, but I'm still looking forward to it. Ooh, the Goldman is live is in the chat. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Thank you, Goldman is live, for tuning in. Appreciate it. Love your shirt. I actually really like the shirt. This is one of my favorite Star Wars shirts. It's just BB-8. How's the connection, by the way, guys? Am I solid? And I have my iPad open here, and it looks a little glitchy. But you tell me. Is the connection good? You tell me. What up, Purely Tech? I'll be starting in a sec. God, it's really hot in my apartment. I think whenever I stream, I just get like really hot in here. I'm Palpamemes' favorite mod. Ooh, thank you for tuning in. All right, looks like there's no complaints about the connection. We got a few people in. Amazing video, can't wait. What's up, Goldman? It's funny. You know what's annoying? The chat is faster on my iPad than it is on actual StreamYards. I'm good. Been a little lazy actually, but yeah. Nice. My 2 channels are now live. I'm so happy. Your 2 channels. What else is live? Decide to join in. Yes. All right. That's enough with the chat. It's time to watch the video. I got my headphones in. Let me know in the chat if there's anything wrong, like you can't hear the video. I'm assuming this is all okay. What up, Gong66? All right, you guys ready? I'm looking forward to this video. All right. I like how it's a loading thing, but it should be fine. Also, I'm impressed. His upload quality, he has it all the way up to 1440p. That's very high. I keep mine at 1880p or 1080p. Sorry. All right, let's begin.
What's going on, everybody? Before I play the video, I just want to say I hope you all enjoy it because I spent a lot of time and effort on it. And if you would, just please give it a like because it'll help it a lot. And I know there's going to be a lot of people that spam dislike because they didn't like my opinion, and that's okay. But if you don't like my opinion, please don't call me weird names on the internet. And
too late for that.
Death threats either, because yeah, I don't really like that, to be honest. But I hope you all enjoy it and join my Discord. The link will be in the description below.
That's cool.
It's a pretty cool place. I'll admit.
Like this, like
okay,
right
let's play the video.
72-9. I will be honest with you, Palpamemes. While that was a sweet opening message, I think it would have been better off putting it at the end of the video. Because I think a lot of people, it's 37 seconds in, and you haven't really started, but nothing too major. But now let's get to the video. That's cool. I want a logo like that. I already had my intro.
Rey Skywalker, in my opinion, is the perfect way to end this character's arc, both personally and thematically, for the conclusion
I like the photo. I saw you've been posting on Twitter.
Generational saga. A literal Palpatine being granted a blessing from the Skywalkers to honor their name and continue the legacy because they knew that Rey is more than a dark past is a very satisfying closure to this ongoing battle between an evil menace and those who fell to his manipulation and lies. It's straight up the ultimate to Palpatine.
It really
This
is.
moment was set up from the very beginning of her arc and concluded in a major and powerful way that is also instrumental to one of the core themes of Star Wars started by George Lucas himself, this being found family. In this video,
Palpamemes is not
I
wrong.
want to just take the time to explain and break down this closure for her character, talking about where it came from, the setup, the motivations for it, and of course, the ending. So let's start off with the introduction of Rey.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's clear from the beginning that this person is simply a lone scavenger living in the middle of nowhere with absolutely no future ahead of her.
God, The
Every
Force
day
Awakens
she
seems
goes
like
through
it
the
came out
same
so
routine
long
of
ago.
scavenging old warships for portions just so she can make it through another night. And one of my favorite aspects of this intro is when we see a few cute things. One is a really rough figure of a
I just want to rewind real quick.
Intro
This has nothing to do with Palpamemes video, but it's a fun fact. If you watch this scene over, and you might not have known this, Palpamemes, I'm curious if you did. This scene right now where Rey's like cleaning the part. If you notice, like before when she's cleaning the part, she's scrubbing. She looks to her left, and she sees like an older woman cleaning as well. And then the next cut. Ooh, is my internet bad? Sorry, I see bad internet. But so she's looking to her left, cleaning the part, and then the next cut, she's looking straight. That's because there's actually a deleted scene that's in the novelization where she sees, I think it's a little boy and her mom like playing across the field, and she's looking at that when the little robot head guy distracts Rey. So yeah, fun fact, if you notice the cut, like she's looking one way and then the next cut she's looking straight. Just a fun fact I wanted to share that.
is when we see a few cute things. One is a really rough figure of a rebellion pilot. Two is that she lives in a crashed AT-AT, and three is a rebel helmet from the old wars that she wears throughout
Little
her
details
days.
like that are so
She was
neat.
a
I wish
dreamer,
more people were
just like
appreciative of.
Anakin and Luke Skywalker, but more importantly, she is representing the audience and the fans of Star Wars. I mean, think about it. How many of you wanted or still want to be just like Luke Skywalker during A New Hope, flying an X-Wing and defeating the evil Empire? We all have that dream when we watch these movies. They inspire us and make us want to
Spewing
be
facts.
and do something more with our lives. And well, Rey is exactly like that. She is a legacy of the past generation. She heard these crazy stories and grew up on
Rey's
them,
a Star
but
Wars
always
fan.
knew them simply as made-up fairy tales, just like they are in real life.
Rey's
Rey
no different than
basically
you and us,
represents all the
other
people
than
who
we
grew
know
up
what
on
Star
the
Wars
Star
is,
Wars
and to her,
franchise.
it's just
And the
fairy
most
tales.
inspiring thing is that in the end, she becomes once again another legend with the new generation. So Rey from the get-go is shown that she is a nobody in the current world. She feels like she has no place or purpose in the galaxy, and as much as she wanted to be someone, the events behind her just would not allow her to move on out of that. Many times after she finally leaves Jakku, she constantly has the itch that she needs to go back to the planet. We eventually learn that she was abandoned by her
She has
parents at a
serious
very
emotional
young
problems.
age, and all she was waiting for was for them to come back and save her. She could not let go. Her past was the most convoluting struggle that she deals with throughout the three
Funny
films,
pause of his
but
face.
there was much more that life had in store for her. One of my favorite moments in episode 7 is when the Force literally calls out to her through the Skywalker saber. Again, she's the character of a legacy. Anakin's saber was passed down to his son Luke, in which it eventually called straight to Rey, only for her to see immense visions and hear voices of the Jedi past speaking directly to her. Out of fear, naturally, she just rejects this and once again pleads to go back to her home planet, returning to the old life that she had only known and was comfortable with. The Force had this
Refusal
purpose set
of the
up for her.
call.
It needed her, and so it would not allow that. Rey then has a very important conversation with Maz Kanata, who may not be a direct wielder of the Force, but she certainly knows and understands it.
I
She
miss,
explains to Rey exactly
Force
what it
Awakens
is
Maz.
and what this calling is all about. The most important line in the sequence is when she's told that the belonging you seek is not behind you,
it is ahead.
ahead. And Rey simply responds with, Luke? This entire movie shows that Rey is basically a nobody with the current life she has, but she wanted to be someone and more importantly, have someone, and the Force agreed with this. She meets Leia at the very end of the film, and they simply hug. Many question why Leia decided to hug Rey out of nowhere, and it's pretty clear why now that the trilogy has concluded. Rey is a dyad with Leia's son, and for those who don't realize, that means that Rey and Ben share the exact same Force bond. It is one that was split between two souls, connecting them with each other both personally and through the Force. This naturally creates an intimate relationship that Leia would always feel with Rey.
I'm going to slightly disagree. While that may be the reason why, because of the bond, I think she just showed empathy for Rey. I think Finn spoke about her, Han spoke about her, and Leia probably understands that Rey saw Han as a father figure, so she's probably just empathizing with a grieving child. But you make a good point as well.
Rey. But now let's go to Luke Skywalker, the legend that she had read about and looked up to ever since she was a young girl. She meets him in hopes that finally she will have someone who could guide her and be there for her. But as we all know, Luke immediately rejects her. It makes you wonder if he had sensed that dark past that has been haunting her. But after some time, some realization, and trust, he does decide to train and truly test her, and Rey goes straight to the dark side. It's her past and bloodline. There's nothing she can do about it. The amount of raw power that was within her frightened Luke to the point where he even compared this darkness to his nephew Ben Solo. And I made an entire video on Luke in the sequel trilogy, and so you really should check it out after this one if you haven't.
Probably should.
But as I said in that, it's very clear.
Make sure you guys destroy the like button, by the way, if you haven't already.
But he simply could not trust himself after what he's seen with Rey. And that makes total sense considering his failure with Ben Solo. He could not let that happen again. During the discussion with his old master Yoda, he states, "I cannot be what she needs me to be." But the greatest part about this scene is that Luke becomes exactly what she needed. He saved everyone on Crate while sacrificing himself and hurting no one. This was the true burden of a Jedi, and Rey saw it and learned from it. Luke even tells Kylo, "And I will not be the last Jedi." He has the hope in her and knows that she will be the one to continue in his footsteps alongside his sister. Again, if you want a more detailed explanation of all this and his arc in the sequels, be sure and watch my video on this, but, after this one, of course. As Leia holds the broken Skywalker saber, she lets Rey know that she has everything she needs, setting up all that encompasses Rey as a Jedi in Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Very early on in the film, we see Rey as a much more mature Jedi. She's calling out to those from the past, and we also learn that Leia has been training her
Is she more
with
mature,
the
though?
ancient Jedi texts. But Leia was much more than just a trainer. She was the thing that kept Rey going in life, the thing that sparked hope in her. Rey saw Leia as the mother she always wanted and needed.
That's more important.
Because of Carrie Fisher's unfortunate death, they aren't really able to emphasize on this greatly in the film, as they did not feel it was right to use CGI to do just whatever they want with her character. And so instead, they used deleted scenes from The Force Awakens to kind of revolve this relationship between the two. And honestly, they did an amazing job with it. Every scene with them is showing just how close the two are. And one of my favorite moments is when they hug and Leia tells Rey, "Never be afraid of who you are." Leia saw Rey for who she is, not for what her past looked like. And she needed her to learn that.
I feel like if Rey was a Star Wars fan, she would hate Rey.
This is something that Rey herself has struggled with this entire series, from the manipulation of Kylo and The Last Jedi to her learning the true origins of her family. She always wished to be something great and to come from something just amazing. And well, she got just that, but not in the way she dreamed of. She was the granddaughter of none other than Palpatine. And while I initially disagreed with this decision, looking back, it honestly makes the most sense. And I love how they used it not to say, this is why she is powerful, but rather they used this horrific reveal as a way for Rey to overcome the worst truth she would ever know. And after Rey...
See, it's a point that I've been making as well, that I wish people who love The Last Jedi and hate The Rise of Skywalker would have realized. Yeah, I would have preferred Rey to not be a Palpatine, but the reason why J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio made Rey a Palpatine was the same reason why Rian Johnson made Rey a nobody, is because at that moment, Rey hearing she is the granddaughter of the literal devil of Star Wars is the hardest thing she could have heard. So it's a good point. I wish more people knew that or realized that.
Rey was told this just all hell breaks loose. She loses her mind and goes into a darker place than we have ever seen. She can't even talk to her closest friend, Finn, about it. It was a thing that she refused to face no matter what. She tried and tried to push it
I would
to the back
argue
of her
Rey's
mind,
the most
but
emotionally
nothing
insecure
would stop
character in
this
Star
from
Wars.
shadowing over her. She had to fight it both physically and mentally. And as time went on, things just got worse and worse. Her only thought was to get the Wayfinder and go to kill Palpatine. She was becoming so...
Hold on. We got a super chat. I just want to read it real quick. The problem was they had material. It was called the books, and now they call it Legends, and threw it all away. I don't think is that really the problem. Like, if you dislike the sequels, I feel like there's many other problems with it besides the fact that it's not the EU. But thank you for the super chat. I greatly appreciate it. No! I just clicked on the Elon Musk video.
So far from everything that she was taught by Leia, that every move was made out of anger and desperation. She eventually finds this Sith artifact in none other than her grandfather's quarter inside of the ruins of the Death Star. A door actually opens for her, and she's led to a vision once again from the Force. But unlike the one of the Force Awakens, this was coming straight from her own darkness and fear. I personally have always interpreted this as the Force flat out showing her what she is going to become if she continues down the path that she is going, and what will happen if she does not fight this evil that is clouding her mind.
That's what the Force showed
After
Cal
she stumbles
in
out and loses the Wayfinder, standing there is none other than Kylo Ren. But the tensions between the two are now flipped. Kylo, at this moment, is very calm and at ease, and even tells her that she cannot go back to Leia now, just like he can't. And Rey doesn't even think twice about trying to kill him. She's giving fully to the dark side, and that's exactly what Palpatine wanted. This whole time, she was once again alone mentally, and she closed herself off away from everything and everyone. Again, the dark side is just taking over her. She needs a hero to save her at this point. She's fighting Kylo with nothing but angry and emotional strikes, but is completely unable to make a dent on Ren. He's so calm and collective that he's blocking everything she swings at him. With this state of mind, she simply cannot come close to beating him. She gets worn out pretty easily, and at this point, she's just pissed off Kylo enough, and darkness comes back over him.
And she basically lost the fight.
He couldn't stand to see what she had become, and he eventually knocks her down to the ground and is about to strike down. But then Leia comes in. In my headcanon is because of this dyad and connection that she has with the two, Leia was actually able to almost visualize and sense exactly in everything that was going on as if she was seeing the battle right in front of her own eyes. And the way they filmed it looks as if she has been watching over them all this time. She couldn't let Rey die or Rey kill Ben. Leia felt nothing but darkness emerging from both her son and who you could say was her adopted child, so Leia sacrifices herself. She used every ounce of energy that she had to send light into Ben, ultimately stopping him from striking down on Rey. But power took all the life out of Leia, and he froze. Ben then drops his saber out of shock, and meanwhile, Rey is still in the completely wrong state of mind, so she grabs his fallen saber and ignites it into his stomach in an attempt to kill him. The second that blade went into Ben, Leia passes on to the Force, and Rey immediately felt it. Once this occurred, nothing else mattered to her. The only parent figure she had is now dead, and she feels responsible for it. Through their dyad, Rey heals the wounds in Ben and fully admits that she did want to take his hand this entire time, just not Kylo's. Healing him was the least she could do. She once again runs from everything. She had nothing. At least that's how she felt. Nothing but evil was behind her entire life, and once she finally got a loving and caring parent, it was all taken away. She runs from herself. She cannot continue to hurt anyone else, and just like how Luke ran from his failures in The Last Jedi, she does the same. She takes Kylo's TIE Whisperer, heads over to the abandoned planet of Ahch-To, and destroys the ship to make sure she has no way out. But then, after hours of mourning her mother's death, she takes one final step to throw everything she had ever worked for and everything that was passed down to her away. She launches the iconic saber into the pit of fire, only for someone to reach out and grasp it. Luke Skywalker. From him rejecting her at the beginning of The Last Jedi, to eventually saving her and the Resistance, knowing that she would become an amazing Jedi under his sister Leia, he was able to right his wrongs during this point of the trilogy. Leia took care of Rey and kept her with the light, but now that she was gone, Luke knew what to do. He stepped back into this position, and he became the father figure Rey always needed, but
That's
never
when Force
had
Ghosts show up to
until
help people.
now. Luke sat Rey down, and after what felt like days of panic and fear for her, she was finally able to be put at ease. He gives her the most important lesson that she needed to hear, that some things are stronger than blood. This whole arc is circled around Rey's inability to accept the past and move on with her own choosings and destiny. But Luke was finally able to ignite this truth in her. Leia knew of Rey's origins, but as Luke tells her, she saw the spirit in her and the heart she had. Both these Skywalkers knew Rey for who she is and could become, not where she came from. We learn about Leia's experience as a Jedi, training directly under her brother, and at the end of her journey, she puts her saber down, saying that someone will pick it up and complete her story. And this is exactly what happens. After a very wise and powerful incitement of hope, courage, and wisdom set by Luke, Rey knows exactly where she belongs and sees the actual truth of her lineage, that her past never mattered because the future is what would bring her her family. So Rey takes both sabers over to Exegol, and after a long operatic showdown between her and an undead Palpatine, she's forced to make a horrible decision as a last resort option to attempt to save her friends, and that is to strike Palpatine down and to open up her soul to allow his spirit to pass through into her. She felt like there was no other way around this. She was trapped. She couldn't let the people she led to Exegol die. But then, once more, another hero saved the day.
She was basically in a very similar situation that Anakin was in Episode 3.
Ben. In a heroic rush, he saves Rey from making this horrible mistake, and through the dyad, she passes over the Skywalker saber. The two battle against the Final Order, in which Palpatine eventually sucks the life force out of the two and throws Ben down the cliff, leaving Rey once again all alone and hopeless. But she does not give up quite yet. She reaches out and calls for any form of help to past spirits. She reaches a new world almost, a place between places as the novelization describes it. And through the vessels of the Force, the Jedi have become more powerful than the Sith could ever imagine. Rey is the pathway for this newly formed ability to be used through. Because of the immense power and strength she gained, Palpatine stood no chance. This fight was not going to last long. Rey was more than just a scavenger. She was a Jedi, and a Jedi with a destiny. And like Anakin, she contained and restored balance. The dark side came back, and the Force guided someone new to restore it. But this amplification of power ultimately killed her. Her body just could not handle the immense energy that flowed through her within the moment, and she dies. But then, Ben rises from the depths, only to see her lifeless body lay on the ground. He could not believe what he's seeing. As he got up, he had so much pain in him from that fall, from all the broken kidneys and even a broken leg. He used all the strength that he had just to get over to her, and he did, and he simply held her, only to realize exactly what he needed to do. He gave every ounce of life force he had in him, transferring it all into Rey as an attempt to bring her back. And it does just that. And Rey reaches over and finally takes Ben's hand. So Ben, the grandson of Anakin Skywalker, finished what he had started. He saved the one he cared about.
Really wish the movie emphasized that more.
In a selfless and pure way. Ben
you cut out the kiss.
He knew it would kill him, but as Adam Driver said, he did not care. He just needed to save Rey. He could not let her stay dead because she deserved so much more after what she grew beyond. Rey had one final mission to close off this saga. She approaches the desolate planet of Tatooine and makes her way to the Lars homestead, the place where everything began.
I still cannot understand why so many people hate the scene.
She felt it was needed to honor what was passed down to her. From Leia being the mother who guided her, to Luke Skywalker saving her from the biggest attempt to run away from the fear that took over her, to Ben choosing the most selfless act of giving his life force so she could continue her journey as a Jedi. She takes the Skywalker sabers and buries them in the sand right next to Shmi's grave. She had her own lightsaber now, and she is on to a new life. But her destiny was not concluded just yet. A mysterious woman walks up to her and wants to know just exactly who this random girl is. And so Rey, of course, says her name, but that was
Rey
not enough.
Skywalker.
As she is conflicted with the surname, she felt something in the distance of the Force, Luke and Leia. They smiled and nodded and gave her the blessing
Still
of
think Ben
adopting
should
the
have been there.
legendary name, telling her, "Take it, it's yours." They trusted her. They knew she needed to accept who her real family is, because some things are stronger than blood. She looks over with a smile and says, "Rey Skywalker."
Am I missing anything besides credits? Nope. All right. Special thank you to Lucasfilm, J.J. Abrams, and Ryan Johnson. What about Kathleen Kennedy? No, I'm teasing. It was a great video. I enjoyed it. We actually interpret the Rise of Skywalker in different ways. He puts a lot more emphasis on the relationship between Leia and Rey. No, it's not that he's wrong. I always saw it like, for example, when during the lightsaber fight on the second Death Star, he interpreted it as like Leia's reaching out to both like Rey and Ben. To me, I always saw that as just him. Yeah, I think Leia like sees that if Ben does strike down Rey, then he's kind of lost to the dark side for good. So she sacrificed her life to reach out to him one last time. So that's kind of how I saw it. At that moment, I'd feel like she wasn't thinking about Rey, but I could be wrong. I'm actually curious what the book says. But I read it and I forgot. But yeah, it was a great video. I enjoyed it. I'm glad you see Rey the same way I do. I wish more people did, but it is what it is. Yeah, I should make another Rey video soon. I don't know, I haven't made a sequel video in a while. Hey, thanks for doing a watch party. I'm glad you liked it. Of course, man. You're a good friend. I would do anything to support you guys. All right. I enjoyed it. I should check out that Luke video, but I'm not going to do a watch party for that. I'm going to hit the sheet soon, even though it's still a little early. Yeah, we got the Bad Batch soon. Not really looking forward to that, but oh well. Any final comments? Rey Gang. I'm telling you guys, when does Rogue Squadron come out? 2023? And we're in 2021. I don't think we'll see any Rey content, main Rey content. We might get a comic or a book. Actually, no, I don't even think we will. I think once Rogue Squadron comes out, and I firmly believe it's going to be set after The Rise of Skywalker, and if it's not, that is just such a missed opportunity. I think once Rogue Squadron comes out, they're going to continue. Because, I mean, I think the Mandalorian story is going to come to a close at some point. So say like 2022 season 3 comes out, 2023 season 4 comes out. By then, they might be wrapping up the Mandalorian story. They'll be telling other stories by then as well. I assume that once Celebration hits in May, they're going to announce even more stuff in the future. Like when Lando is going to come out. But yeah, it's going to happen, guys. We're going to have to be patient. I mean, what's it called? Granted, the EU was a lot more fond of the prequels than the current canon is of the sequels. But they had to. Clone Wars came out 3 years after Revenge of the Sith, and then the show started like another year and a half after that. And it hasn't even been 2 years yet since the Rise of Skywalker came out. So yeah, patience. Rey Skywalker, always seen Rogue Squadron 1. Probably not Rogue Squadron. I can't wait. I would love to see it. You know, one thing about Rey actually is we never really see her kicking ass with the lightsaber. She kills the Praetorian guards, and she deflects the blaster bolts from Palpatine's guards. Besides that, the only time she ever uses the lightsaber is to fight Kylo or train. Like, we never see her just walk up to a bunch of stormtroopers and mow them down like Anakin does to droids or like Luke did to stormtroopers, right? I think that'd be really cool to see. I'd love a Rey Disney Plus series. Listen, if Hayden Christensen is coming back to reprise his role as Anakin, there is nothing you can say to convince me that Daisy Ridley won't come back at some point. I'm sorry. Hayden Christensen got so much more hate than Daisy Ridley ever did. I mean, social media might be a little worse now, but like prequel hate was strong for a decade. Like the sequels have only been out for sequel hate's only been going on since The Last Jedi. So what, 3.5 years? Shit, more for Hayden. So yeah, Hayden's coming back and people are going to celebrate that. It's going to happen for Rey. It's going to happen. Straight facts. She sliced her boyfriend's car in half, so that is true. I think the closest we had to Rey scene like that is probably her sneaking around Starkiller Base. Yeah, Rey hallway scene. We should put that. Her just sneaking around Starkiller Base. All right, guys. I'll read a few more comments and I'm gonna bounce. Echoman, Rey did use the lightsaber on Praetorian guards. Yeah, did I not say that? Well, I meant to say that. Yeah, she used it on the Praetorian guards, but she didn't use it on like throwaway troopers, right? I think that'd be cool. Daisy said recently she wants to come back and firmly believes that she will. She actively say she wants to come back. I think she said she'd like to. I think it's gonna happen eventually. Hopefully, I think once Star Wars is a little more popular, once the people are kind of moved on from the sequels, I think once the Mandalorian connects with the sequels, people will be more happy. We'll have to wait and see. I think it's gonna take time. It's gonna take time. Or something else is gonna come out that's gonna be even worse, and people will hate that instead of the sequels. Thor, bring me Rey Skywalker. What do you think of the twins from Star Wars takes place after the Rise of Skywalker? The twins. All right, guys. I'm going to hop off. Great video, Palpamemes. I am going to hit the sheets. Good night, everyone.